NeuroGov Plus AI and Analyser 1.0 engine with example. Role of the analyzer. In Brain NeuroGov Plus, the Analyser 1.0 engine can be understood as the analytical layer that sits between data/evidence and human understanding and decision-making. Its role is not simply to calculate an answer. It should 1. Receive structured or extracted data. 2. Identify relationships and patterns. 3. Apply appropriate analytical logic. 4. Distinguish facts from interpretations. 5. Identify changes, gaps, risks, opportunities, and constraints. 6. Explain why an analytical result occurs. 7. Preserve traceability back to the underlying data points and sources, and 8. Present the results so that a human decision-maker can evaluate it. This is particularly important for NeuroGov Plus. AI should extend, organize, protect, and amplify human expertise, not replace it. 1. AI and the analyzer are not the same thing. A useful distinction is: AI equals capability. Analyzer equals controlled analytical function. AI can process enormous amounts of information, recognize patterns, classify material, extract information, generate hypotheses, and assist with reasoning. The Analyser 1.0 engine, however, should have a defined analytical responsibility. It takes available evidence and applies a recognized analytical method to that evidence. So the architecture can be viewed conceptually as: sources rightward arrow, data points rightward arrow, AI processing rightward arrow, analyzer rightward arrow, analytical evidence rightward arrow, human interpretation rightward arrow, governed decision. The analyzer therefore becomes an important bridge between raw information and meaningful intelligence. 2 PPC example data points. Imagine the NeuroGov Plus system receives these data points. Data point value: healthcare output 80. Education output 60. Available workforce 10 million. Technology index 1.00. Healthcare workers 4 million. Education workers 3 million. Other resources available. The analyzer can establish relationships among these data points. For example, more resources plus unchanged technology rightward arrow, potentially greater productive capacity. Better technology rightward arrow, potentially greater productive capacity. Moving along the existing PPC rightward arrow, trade-off between the two outputs. This is where the analytical engine becomes useful. 3. The analyzer adds meaning. Suppose the government moves resources from education into healthcare. The raw data might show healthcare output increased from 80 to 90. But the analyzer should go further. It can ask, what happened to education output? Suppose education falls from 60 to 52. The analytical result becomes: increasing healthcare production required resources to be redirected from education, producing an observable trade-off. That is an analytical relationship, not merely a data value. This is the essence of an analyzer. 4. 9 core analytical S. 1. Evidence. The analyzer begins with evidence. Every analytical conclusion should ideally be traceable to identifiable data points and their sources. NeuroGov Plus therefore benefits from maintaining the relationship between register rightward arrow, data points rightward arrow, sources rightward arrow, DFD rightward arrow analysis. 2. Structure. The analyzer organizes apparently separate data points into meaningful relationships. A single number may have little significance by itself. A collection of related data points can reveal a trend, dependency, constraint, or change. 3. Method. Analysis must use an appropriate analytical method. In the PPC example, the method is based on productive capacity, resource constraints, efficiency, trade-offs, and opportunity cost. In another NeuroGov Plus domain, a completely different analytical method may be appropriate. 4. Comparison. The analyzer can compare actual conditions with a baseline, target, previous period, benchmark, model, or expected condition. This allows the system to identify deviations that may deserve human attention. 5. Relationship. The most valuable analytical capability is often identifying relationships. If one variable changes while another changes correspondingly, the analyzer can flag the relationship for examination. Importantly, correlation should not automatically be presented as causation. 6. Interpretation. AI can help interpret analytical results, but NeuroGov Plus should distinguish observed evidence from AI-generated interpretation. This distinction protects the integrity of the decision process. 7. Explainability. An analytical result should be explainable. Rather than simply saying risk increased, the system should identify the relevant data points, the analytical rule or model applied, and the evidence that caused the conclusion. 8. Governance. Governance becomes essential when analysis influences important decisions. The analyzer should therefore operate within defined rules concerning evidence, provenance, confidence, assumptions, exceptions, human review, and auditability. 9. Human plus AI. The final objective is not autonomous decision-making for its own sake. The objective is human plus AI plus governance. AI provides computational and analytical capability, humans provide expertise, judgment, context, responsibility, and accountability. Governance connects the two safely. 5. What makes Analyser 1.0 different? A conventional analytical program may simply calculate input rightward arrow formula rightward arrow output. NeuroGov Plus can make the analytical chain considerably richer. Source rightward arrow data point rightward arrow relationship rightward arrow analytical method rightward arrow result rightward arrow explanation rightward arrow evidence rightward arrow governance rightward arrow human decision. This creates an auditable analytical pathway. For example, source, economic production report. Downward arrow. Data point, healthcare equals 80. Downward arrow. Data point, education equals 60. Downward arrow. Relationship, resource allocation. Downward arrow. Analyzer, PPC model. Downward arrow. Result, trade-off identified. Downward arrow. Explanation, additional healthcare requires resources diverted from education. Downward arrow. Governance, verify assumptions and source reliability. Downward arrow. Human, evaluate policy implications. That is a much stronger architecture than simply asking an AI model, what does this mean? 6. Analyser 1.0 as a NeuroGov Plus engine. The first version can therefore be conceptualized as Analyser 1.0. Input. Data points. Source information. Relationships. Rules. Models. Context. Processing. Validation. Comparison. Relationship analysis. Pattern detection. Calculation. Classification. Anomaly identification. Scenario analysis. Output. Analytical findings. Evidence. Explanations. Assumptions. Confidence. Exceptions. Implications. Human review requirements. The important architectural principle is that the output is not merely an answer, it is an explainable analytical result. 7. Why the PPC example is valuable. The PPC example is small, but it demonstrates a much larger NeuroGov Plus principle. A simple AI system might recognize the graph. An analytical engine should understand the structure represented by the graph. A governed analytical engine should additionally establish: what is the evidence? What analytical method was used? What assumptions apply? How reliable is the result? What does the result actually demonstrate? What does it not demonstrate? Does a human need to review it? This progression is important. AI rightward arrow analysis rightward arrow explainability rightward arrow governance rightward arrow human decision. 8. Summary. Brain NeuroGov Plus Analyser 1.0 should be viewed as a reusable analytical engine rather than merely another AI model. Its fundamental purpose is to transform structured evidence into traceable, explainable analytical intelligence. The PPC example demonstrates this clearly. Data, healthcare and education outputs. Rightward arrow. Relationship, limited resources. Rightward arrow. Model, production possibilities curve. Rightward arrow. Analysis, trade-off/efficiency/productive capacity. Rightward arrow. Explanation, why the result occurred. Rightward arrow. Governance, validate evidence and assumptions. Rightward arrow. Human, make the informed decision. This approach can then be generalized far beyond economics. Power summary. Brain NeuroGov plus Analyser 1.0 is the analytical bridge between data and decision. Its strength is not simply that AI can calculate. Its strength is that NeuroGov plus can establish data rightward arrow relationship rightward arrow analysis rightward arrow evidence rightward arrow explanation rightward arrow governance rightward arrow human decision. Therefore, AI does the processing. The analyzer organizes and performs the analysis. Governance controls trust and accountability. Human expertise makes the final judgment. And this directly reflects the NeuroGov plus philosophy. The future is not human versus AI. The future can be human plus AI plus governance. About Dr. Pradeep K. Suri. Dr. Pradeep K. Suri is the architect behind the Brain NeuroGov plus concept and its broader systems engineering vision. His approach combines long-standing experience in structured analysis, systems thinking, data relationships, engineering methodologies, and emerging AI technologies. A central idea in his NeuroGov plus architecture is that AI should not be treated as an isolated technology. Instead, AI should operate as part of a larger governed system in which data, relationships, analytical engines, human expertise, and governance work together. His long experience with structured analysis provides an important foundation for the NeuroGov plus architecture, particularly the evolution from register rightward arrow data points rightward arrow sources rightward arrow DFD rightward arrow analysis rightward arrow intelligence rightward arrow governance. The resulting vision is not simply an AI platform. It is a human plus AI plus governance ecosystem designed to organize and amplify human expertise while maintaining analytical traceability, explainability, and accountability. Dr. Pradeep K. Suri.